When a stealth alien invasion takes Costa Rica by storm, it will be up to the Justice League to intervene and save the day. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Justice League Unlimited issue number 2 and find out together, shall we? So then, picking up directly from where the last issue left off, you'll recall that Batman and Blue Beetle had gone to Costa Rica to look into some strange alien eggs while everyone else was duking it out with the brand new terrorist group calling itself the Inferno. Turns out these aren't just any old alien eggs either, these are actually parademon eggs. Parademons, of course, being the favorite foot soldiers of Darkseid and Apocalypse. Which naturally puts the parademons in an odd situation right now, considering their boss Darkseid, as far as everyone in this world is concerned, died during that absolute power special. Of course, he's not really dead, he's just in another universe, but they don't know that. The parademons have also taken to kidnapping children in the night, meaning that the Justice League have a twofold mission: stop the infestation and try and rescue the children. To do this, they end up breaking off into strike teams, and one of the more interesting teams actually involves John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, joining forces with Richer Occult, aka Dr. Occult. Because, you know, that was always Justice League Unlimited's gimmick. Hey, you get your AAA leaguers, but you also get some weird little deep-cut side characters, and admittedly, Dr. Occult is a deep cut. Like Superman, he was invented by Siegel and Schuster and usually popped up in different magic-centric books like stuff written by Giffen or even Gaiman ever so briefly, but that's not the only thing this book is about. Again, Justice League Unlimited under Mark Waid seems to be about trying to find those special little moments between heroes who don't normally get their own big fancy ongoing series. Case in point, we actually get a little backdoor pilot for what we're probably going to be seeing during the events of the upcoming Atom Project book. We see the two different generations of the Atom, Ray Palmer and Ryan Choi, build a fancy new machine that they hope will allow Atom Smasher to regain his metahuman abilities he lost in the big power shuffle during the end of Absolute Power. The machine works for the most part, allowing Atom Smasher to regain his abilities, but unfortunately the machine isn't too perfect and blows up in their face, meaning the scientists have a long way to go if they want to solve this problem. Hey, you know what might help though? Recruiting another Atom, like say, Captain Atom. Go read that book if you want to see what that's all about. Wonder Woman and Mary Marvel get a fun little aside too as they fight parademons. These two don't really get the opportunity to talk to each other all that much, and they come to the realization, hey, you're from the Greek pantheon and I get my power from the Roman pantheon. Mary always assumed that they were the same gods with different names, only for Wonder Woman to go, oh, you have so much to learn, young lady, and then later she also gets to use her Shazam lightning alongside Black Lightning, who says that Mary actually reminds him a lot of his daughter. Again, want to know what's going on with them? Read their book over in Black Lightning. The real focal point main event of this story though is, as I mentioned, Martian Manhunter hanging out with Dr. Occult. They have a lot in common. They're both detectives. In fact, as Occult explains, he's actually well aware of John Jones's many exploits, as he himself had actually attempted to solve the death that happened at the observatory the day that Martian Manhunter first came to Earth. This is actually a pretty big moment in the book too, as Mark Waid is essentially going out of his way to retcon John's origin again back to its most original form, undoing what Scott Snyder did over in his last Justice League run. And yeah, I like that origin too, I can see why he put it back. Furthermore, John actually confides in Occult, saying that his powers were actually greatly damaged by the events of Absolute Power, but that he's too afraid to tell the rest of the League that he's weaker than he's ever been before because he fears that they might actually take him off active duty if he does. Basically, Martian Manhunter isn't quite as strong as Superman anymore. His sight powers are gone and so are his telepathy. He's still incredibly powerful, just not as powerful as he once was. It's around this time too, Martian Manhunter and Occult end up stumbling upon the mastermind behind this alien egg plot. It seems that there is one particularly intelligent parademon who's leading the others. In fact, wouldn't you know it, he has a tragic backstory that actually mirrors John's own. Apparently, when Darkseid realized this guy was smart, he exiled him from the planet in hopes that he would seed an invasion force on Earth. Now Darkseid is dead, and this guy had no idea until the League actually told him. Now he has nowhere to go, and even his plan to try and trade the kidnapped children to Granny Goodness in return for safe passage back to Apocalypse, yeah, that plan is pretty kaput too. This guy starts tearing into John too, both literally and figuratively, saying you don't know what it's like to be exiled from your race and your culture, to be completely cut off, with no hope for return. Understandably, this really gets under Martian Manhunter's skin, because of course he understands these feelings, he just doesn't let those feelings turn him into a total jerk ass. Martian Manhunter and this parademon end up having themselves a knockdown, drag-out fight in the cave. In fact, John might very well have killed this guy if Wonder Woman didn't come on in with the lasso and hold up his hand at the very last moment. Understandably, John feels absolutely terrible on top of all the other major self-doubt he was feeling, and he ends up actively running off from the rest of the League. As the comic comes to a close, Superman vows that they're going to have to try and track their friend down and find out what's eaten him before things get worse. And so that was Justice League Unlimited issue number 2, everybody, and I gotta say, I continue to enjoy what Mark Waid and company are doing on this book. It's fun, it's exciting, but more than anything, I think I love how it's paced. A big problem I've been having with the big team books, and this extends to both companies, not just DC, is that the premier team book always feels like they need to be dealing with end-of-the-world problems, and that just gets tiring at a point, especially when you throw in big event stories every year. Here, though, in this series, I think Mark Waid has really cracked the code by zeroing in on what people really like about super team books, and that is the small moments, the interplay between different members. Especially characters who don't normally get a chance to bounce off each other, fan favorites and deep cuts, hanging out with the Trinity and all the big AAA big guns. There's also a bigger overarching storyline there too, to decipher who is the mysterious Inferno terrorist group, what's their plan for the world and the League, when are they gonna find out that Airwave is actually a mole. That stuff is definitely there, but it doesn't always have to be the focal point. It can hang out there in the background while we do other stuff, and I gotta say, that other stuff is probably what's gonna keep me coming back to this series over and over again. I hope they keep this momentum, I hope they keep this energy and this structure, because if so, I think we will be in for an all-timer. Overall, I would give this one a very positive 8.5 out of 10. Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.